Did I tell you a story? One time, a few years ago, I met a guy at a bar that was from Ghana, and I dated him for 2 weeks before I moved in with him. And then he went back to his home country of Africa, and about 3 months later I flew out there to go see him. I spent 3 weeks there, and he proposed, and I said no. I said no because there was no guarantee that he would come back to America, and I didn't want to live there in Ghana. So I flew back home to my little small town in the middle of nowhere in Bucktooth, Missouri, and now he is married to someone else and has a son. So now I'm here on vacation in San Diego. I guess I'm going to be single till I'm 35. End of story. Basically the point is take the opportunity when you can.
Okay, so there was a little ogre. She was like 4 years old, so she was all on her own, okay? And her family's gone, and the problem is she can only eat little boys. So she like sets traps for them in the forest, okay? And one day she catches one and brings him back to her home, and she leaves him in her kitchen so she can get things ready, right? But she's not hungry yet because she just had food, so she's got to wait a couple days. And so they start talking, okay? And he's like, the whole time he's like really innocent and naive and like trying to just be friendly. And you know, when it comes time for her to like prepare the meal, she can't bring herself to do it, all right? And eventually one day she like just needs to get him out of the house because she can't take his presence anymore. And so she like leaves the cage open, but he doesn't go away. So she's stuck with him, and he just really wants to be her friend. And you know, it starts to become a problem because she has to eat, and she's getting really weak. But with his help, she overcomes this need, and he leaves amicably. And later in life, they come back together, and they have lots of little children, and they're boys and girls, and some of the girls have the ogre teeth, and it's just a really pleasant story of a person helping another person overcome something about themselves. The end.
Well, one time when I was a kid, I have 2 older siblings, and my brother's 4 years older and my sister is 2 years older than me. And I was probably 4 or 5 when we got this big awning thing, the thing that you put on your porch and it goes out and in. So it came in this big cardboard tube, and we were playing with it. And then we also had a tree house, and in our tree house we had this big window. And so we took the cardboard tube and we placed it on the window. And so here was the treehouse, and then the tube came down and we used it as a slide. And so I was in the treehouse and my brother was at the bottom, and my sister between us, she was going down the slide. And my brother, he accidentally picked up the bottom of it. And so this big cardboard tube that she was inside, it got picked up and it fell down. And Christina, my sister, probably fell like 15 feet and she bit through her tongue. And so we had to like take her to the hospital, I think. But from then on, we just knew not to play on slides because, you know, a few years before that, she had actually chipped her tooth on a slide that we were playing with. So I guess she and slides don't really mix is the moral of the story.
I came from Florida to see her.
Who is she?
She's my
Wait.
Dating for
Wait, who is she?
She's my girlfriend.
Okay.
We've been dating for a year, and we finally decided to see each other.
Wait, can you get in here?
This is our first time meeting each other, and this is our last day in San Diego. Well, my last day, because she lives here. Well, yeah, I live here all my life.
Okay, so how'd you guys meet?
We met online on the game. We're being honest. We met on the game, and I didn't know who she was until. So it was like you know, like catfish, but we actually are the people who said we were.
A little while ago, I was at work, and you know, we're all humans, we have bodily functions, and one of those functions is passing gas, and sometimes, you know, you fart on accident, it just comes out, right? So I was at work, I was at the register, and I was ringing up this adult and this child. This child was probably, I'd say, probably about like butt level, I'd say. He's growing, he's a kid, he's growing, and he happened to be sitting right behind me at the register. And like I said, we're humans and we have bodily functions and we fart. And so, sure enough, as I was doing the transaction, I farted, and the child was standing right behind me, and I farted in the child's face. Not loud enough for the adult to hear. It was like a very light sound, kind of like when you're, you know, the ketchup bottle, when you're trying to push out that little bit of ketchup and it comes out. So that's what happened. Not loud enough for the parent to hear, but loud enough for the child to hear. And I noticed it, and I kind of went, and so the kid kind of looked up at me with disgust, like just this scoff, like, oh. And I kind of didn't say anything because the parent didn't hear. So I handed the parent their bag and said, "Have a good day." And then the child and the parent walked away. I'm hoping that I didn't give that child pink eye.
This one time I walked into a record store, and then I picked out just a random album, and it ended up being my favorite artist in the entire world ever. Kid Cudi's God.
You had no idea who he was?
No, and now he's my favorite artist, been my favorite artist for the last 5 years.
My story today is, during our visit here in San Diego, something that's been really interesting is all our Uber rides. It was my first time doing Uber, and so I guess my story is about stories. So all the different little personalities of the Uber drivers and the music they chose and what they chose to share with us was really sweet and entertaining.
So I wanted a cat my whole life, and my family was allergic, so I never got one. And then I got a cat, and he's the greatest thing ever. And I wanted him to have a buddy for a really long time. So I got him a little kitten friend in January, and they are the cutest, best friends. They snuggle, they play, and they are so awesome, and they make my life a lot happier.
I guess my last year's goal to go here, I went to the Havasupai Trail in Arizona. It was like really cool. You had to get the permits. It's only like 1 hour of like one day of the whole year to get a permit to go to this place. So, and I was actually able to get the permit to go, and it just became like really hard. Once I got the permit, my girlfriend was supposed to come with me, and then unfortunately she had an issue that she couldn't come, and then all of a sudden she could come. And then all of a sudden she had a death in the family, so she couldn't come. And of course, like halfway going there, my car breaks down and it overheats, and like my head gasket blows, so it's like this huge thing. Never had a problem with my car for 17 years. And all of a sudden now I have a problem, and I'm in the middle of the desert, nowhere. So I was able to come up with the solutions to find someone to tow it, find someone to repair it, find someone to come the secondary repairs, to get a rental car that fell through. I had to find another rental car. Finally I got to where I needed to get to. None of it worked out the way I expected to work out. I was expecting to be there with my girlfriend, get there really early in the morning, spend all day and all this stuff, and I got there really late in the afternoon, all by myself. Had to hike through the desert, about 10 miles through the heat, but I was able to get there, spent 2 days there. I was only expecting to spend one, so it worked out that I actually got to see more of it than I was expecting to see. So I was like all stressed about getting there, but like when I actually got there, it was like this amazing, wonderful thing, exhilarating. It turned out to be really, really an amazing experience. And that's my story.
This morning, I was really worried about getting my poster here on time and my advisor was bringing it, and he texted me, he's like, well, good news is we have 2 copies of your poster, which means he didn't have his poster an hour before his presentation.
One time, the first time we ever went jet skiing together, we were in Florida, and we had just rented these jet skis, and we had to go through a channel to get out to the ocean. And as we made it through the channel, there was a huge hailstorm that crashed down right on us, right as we got into the ocean. So we had no choice but to turn around, and it followed us all the way back through the channel, all the way back into the channel.
It's terrifying.
And we got back after the most near-death experience 20 minutes into this, and they refused to give us a refund.
I saw homeless last night. He was asking for food. Didn't have any food, so I came 20 bucks. And I told him to go to the up the street. So it's just like a store open, 24 hours. Like, oh, go buy yourself something right there. He was really grateful. I was like, oh, appreciate it. He was telling me like, oh, I've been starving for 3 days for now. Then he just come out of nowhere and give me this. Like, oh, it's cool. I know the struggle. He appreciated me, give me a hug, even though he smells, but it's fine. And yeah, it was I liked it. It would feel good, you know, because money, like, I don't know, life shouldn't be about money, you know. It should be like about like you should get rich of life. That's what I see. Because I don't know, after you die, like a material doesn't gonna be anything, just like the person you were. And that's what I got when I was with that homeless person, you know?
What's up, guys? My name is Thoraya and I'm the owner of this channel. I'm also the person behind the camera, and I thought I'd take a minute to thank all the subscribers I've gained so far, and maybe ask the new viewers to hit the subscribe button if you like this episode or if you're a fan of my channel in general. That would mean a lot. Thank you.